Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Bill. Thank you very much for joining me. And just behind me is my latest shipbox purchase, which is a 2008 Volkswagen Golf GTi, finished in the very rare candy white. Let's get into it. Yes guys, as usual, Winston is joining us in the video today. Isn't you, Winston? He's been a good boy lately. But onto the car, we've got a 2008 Volkswagen Golf GTi. I want you guys to not cheat, don't search up the reg, right? But have a guess how many miles this car's done and how much I paid for it. I will tell you at the end of this video, but for now, get in the comment section, just have a little guess what the mileage is and how much I paid for it. The bodywork is okay on this car. It has seen better days in some areas, but it's not as scabby as some examples I have seen on the market. For example, you've got a little bit of rust here on the wing. You've got quite badly curbed alloys, and actually this one is actually quite a good one compared to some of the others. Along the little side trim here, you've got little marks. You've got quite a few stone chips in places, especially on the bonnet, just here, as you can see. But in general, it's a straight looking car. I think it's a respectable looking car for its age, and especially for its mileage. I think you'll be very surprised when you find out what the mileage is. Moving over here, as I said, some of the wheels are very scuffed and curbed. But again, not the end of the world when you find out how much I paid for it. If we move around the back, you can see it's all very straight. If you look down the lines, there's no dents, there's no damage. This car is category clear, so it's never been involved in an accident, never been a write-off or anything like that. So, yeah, I think you'll agree. It's definitely a respectful looking car. And when you get inside, the story gets better. This was quite a well-spec car from factory. Well, I believe from factory. I mean, someone might have done some aftermarket additions, but I believe from factory, this car was well-spec'd because it's got these lovely leather heated seats, which I kind of prefer over the tartan seats that came in some GTIs. This leather interior comes with this lovely armrest. Do love an armrest. It's also got, I believe that to be an aftermarket gear knob, although it's like golf ball shaped. I think the original gear knobs were a slightly different shape to that. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But it is very clean in here, isn't it? You know, even if you look at like the seals, are these called seals? Are they the seals here? What would you call them? Let me know in the comments. But the floor mats, all very clean. The pedals, very clean. The steering wheel itself, very clean, not too worn. And also as well, talking about optional extras, you'll see that it's got the steering wheel controls, which not every Golf came with. Not every GTI came with that from standard. Some of them had them like little panel bits there, didn't they? So you didn't get the steering wheel controls. So that was an optional extra, not sure why, but it's a lovely option to have. I think it makes the steering wheel look better, and it's obviously better for usability with the infotainment system. This car does also have automatic lights and automatic wipers, and eagle-eye viewers will notice that it's got a boost gauge here in place of where the standard like air vent thing would be, so that's quite cool as well. I like that they picked a decent one for this job, one that looks almost like it should have been there from the factory, but obviously isn't, because this is a New South Performance boost gauge. You can see it there on the gauge itself. Also as well, this car came with a dash cam, as you can see there. As I've already said, upgraded infotainment system. I think that's from like a later Golf, like maybe like a Mark 6 or a Mark 7. And yeah, it also came with the GTI handbook, which has some service history in it, I believe. I haven't actually looked through that, terrible of me. And then going into the back, you've got a lovely, oh God, I'm just trying to climb in. Got this lovely armrest here, which then leads into the boot, I believe. That's quite cool. But yeah, lovely car. And like I said, if you haven't clocked the mileage already from the dashboard, I think you'll agree that for its age, it's in very good nick. Does need a few little bits doing, as I said. It's got this scuff here, which ain't the best thing in the world, and it could do with like I forgot I was about to say eyebrows then. I don't know why I was about to say that, but the headlights polishing. It could do with the headlights polishing, stone chips on the bonnet, couple of little marks here and there, like here on the wing mirror, and the other one has actually got a worse mark, but I believe that one might T-cut out, we'll see. But yeah, all round a nice looking straight car with no damage and a very respectable looking thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this is a nice car? Let's get in the car and drive it and tell you guys what this car drives like. It does have a few knocks and bangs and a few dodgy sounds here and there, but let's get in and show you guys what I'm on about. Right, let's take this baby for a spin. I'm hoping you lot will be able to hear, oh, what's going on here? Oh, I've got my pocket stuck in the seatbelt bit. I'm hoping you lot will be able to hear some of the knocking, because it does knock quite badly, this car. Especially, let me just open them. I don't want to have the windows open too much because, as I said earlier, it is so hot today, and that air conditioning. By the way, I've got working air conditioning in a 20-year-old car, nearly 20 years old, and the aircon is working a treat, which is such a joy in this weather we have in England. I don't know what it is about England, but when it's hot, it's just like, I wouldn't say it's unbearable. It's nice when you're like by a beach or whatever, but when you're near the city, like I am, sort of near the city, it's just unbearable. But look, listen to this. Knocking, knocking, knocking. Oh, it knocks so bad. I don't know whether that's top mounts, ball joints, track rod ends. Don't know what it is, but it is knocking badly. Also as well, one fault with this car, which I have to mention, is the lights. The lights seem to have a mind of their own. So when you turn it on, because it's got auto lights, obviously the lights are meant to come on. It's meant to have daytime running lights, but instead of the daytime running lights working, the fog lights come on and just stay on constantly. And even when I switch it to the off position, the lights just stay on. So it might have some electrical gremlins somewhere. Right, we're on the move, and you know what? I'm just going to let you know the mileage, and I can't believe that this would be the same engine. This can't be the original engine. It cannot be, because the mileage of this car, are you ready for this? I hope you're sitting down, is 234,636 at the time of filming. So how it's still going is beyond me, but it is a testament to Volkswagen to have an engine in like a little hot hatch. This car is, I don't know, listen, you can't assume it's had a hard life, but it's the kind of car that would have a hard life. Do you know what I mean? It's a Golf GTi. They're made to be driven fast. So unless this car has only been owned by, like, you know, the older generation, I must say it has only had 3 previous owners before me. So yeah, maybe them 3 previous owners were like, I don't know, I don't want to say old people, but more mature people, and maybe they just really looked after it. I mean, it does look like a car that has been looked after. One thing I have noticed is that even the boot, like when you lift the boot lining up, it's just so clean and so neat and tidy in there. And it looks like the spare wheel has never been used, like every single little tool, like the jack and everything. But everything just looks in place and untouched, like no one's ever used it. I don't know whether that's because they've never had a puncture, or I don't know, maybe they're just meticulous. When they get stuff out, they put it back in the exact same spot. But it bodes well for the car, is all I'm saying. But yeah, as I was saying, what a testament to Volkswagen to have an engine that's still going after 234,000 miles. That is good, especially for a petrol engine, because petrol engines are not as robust as diesel engines, are they? Again, I might be wrong about that, so correct me if I am wrong in the comments. I'm able to put my foot down here ever so slightly, so. It's still got so much power. It's a fast car, this is. Let me just do them windows up so you're not getting too much road noise. This is a fast car still. I think they're 197 brake horsepower from standard. I'd imagine this one has been mapped because it's got that ram air induction kit, so it kind of tells me that someone might have mapped this car. This car has also been lowered as well. I'm not too sure whether it's been lowered on coilovers or just lowering springs. But it brings me on to saying that that's what the previous owner told me. He said it was a very well looked after example. When I spoke to him on the phone, he did actually say that he had some service history for it, but unfortunately when I got to the property, he couldn't find a service history, which was a little bit frustrating, but it all factored into why I paid him how much I paid him for this car, which you will find out soon. In fact, you know what? I paid £1,000 for this car. 1,000 Great British pounds for a Golf GTi in candy white. I think you'll agree that's a bit of a bargain. But yeah, the guy who I bought it off lived 5 minutes away from me. It was the cheapest one on Auto Trader, as you'll already know due to the thumbnail. But yeah, he was like 5 minutes away from me, and I was having a little scroll on Auto Trader. I was gonna buy a car and, you know, do some content on it, and this was just sat there. He wanted £1,575 for it. But yeah, I thought, you know what, it's worth going to have a look, having a chat with him and seeing what we can come up with. When I arrived at the house, the car had just been sat there for months, like he hadn't used it for months. So it took us to jump start it. I had to use my top-on jump starter to jump start it. It came up with all sorts of warning lights when we jump started it. And yeah, it was just generally looking unloved. And due to the fact that it had no service history and no paperwork with it, I made him an offer of £1,000. He was a bit and ahhing and said, look, could you come up ever so slightly? I said to him, look, I'm not really comfortable paying more than £1,000 because of the service history due to the mileage, and because obviously it does need some body work and other little bits and pieces. Obviously when we were driving it, we noticed that it had a knock, and it's quite a bad knock on the front. Again, like I said, not too sure whether it's like ball joints, top mounts, don't know what it is, bushes or whatever. So I feel like £1,000 was a fair price to pay for this car. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So what is the plan with this car? Well, basically I needed a car. I haven't had a car for 2 weeks. I've been driving my girlfriend's car while she's at work, and I kind of not had a car. And like the days she's been off work and she's been out doing stuff, I've kind of needed a car. I've not been able to sort of go out and do stuff like I normally would. So when this came up on Auto Trader, I thought to myself, do you know what, I'll go and have a look at it, and if it's decent, I'll buy it. It's £1,000, which is still a fair chunk of money, especially if you buy an absolute pig, but luckily it's turned out to be an all right car. And I must say, I have listed this car for sale. And this is something I want to touch upon on my YouTube channel actually, because I know that some people will say, Bill, how come sometimes you buy a car and then you think you're going to do content with it, and then by the time you watch your next video, that car's gone? For example, the Z3, which I featured in one of my previous videos. What I do, being honest with you, is whenever I buy a car, I list it for sale the very next day. I clean it and I list it for sale. I take good photos and I list it for sale at a healthy profit. And the reason I do this is because you have to remember that essentially I am a motor trader. I like to buy cars and sell them for profit. That's how I make money. And if I can buy a car, sell it within the next couple of days for a healthy profit, of course I'm going to do that. It would be nice to keep every car I have on the channel. I love cars. I love every car I have. That's why I buy them. That's why I buy interesting cars, or at least I think they're interesting. But the fact of the matter is, I cannot keep every car I buy. Otherwise I'd have 100 cars, wouldn't I? You know? So what I do, being honest with you, being completely transparent, I buy a car, I pull it up for sale once it's been cleaned and I feel like it's presentable for sale. I'm honest about all the issues and everything like that. If it sells, happy days, I've made a profit. If it doesn't sell, I continue to use the car for content. That's my strategy, and that's the way I do things. Like I said, essentially this is a business. I need to make money to live, right? I don't have a job. This is my job, right? So essentially, money has to come first because I have to live. Unfortunately, I don't have a bank full of savings or like rich parents to inherit loads of money off or anything like that. So I kind of have to do this to make money, and content kind of has to come second. I apologize if, you know, that gets on anyone's nerves, but that's the kind of the way it has to be with this. Hopefully though, if I become famous off YouTube and start making loads of money off YouTube, we can get some, you know, some ongoing projects on the channel. That would be good, and I would enjoy that. Oh! And by the way, guys, that of course brings me on to talking about my business, Bill's Motor Group. As some of you guys know who watch the channel regularly, I have my own sort of business. It's called Bill's Motor Group. I specialise in sale or returns. So basically, if you've got a car for sale and you can't be bothered to sell that car yourself, you're too busy to sell that car yourself, or you can't be asked with the haggling that comes with selling a car, the negotiations, all that, then I specialise, my business specialises in selling other people's cars for them. I do, of course, buy and sell used cars. So if you've got a car for sale, hit me up. But if you want to sell your car and you want to get a better price than taking it to a trader or taking it to one of them car buying websites like We Buy Any Car or Motorway or anything like that, if you want to get a slightly better price and you're patient and you want to see your car featured on a YouTube channel, if it's interesting, then give me a shout. I'm happy to assist with the sale of your car. Bit of open road here. That pulls so well. And that's it, we are slightly over the speed limit, so we'll slow down. But yeah, I'd imagine this car has definitely been mapped, because I've driven standard ones of these, I've driven mapped ones of these. I had the Edition 30 on the channel not long ago, didn't I? And this feels as quick as the Edition 30. And obviously the Edition 30s have an extra 30 horsepower from factory. So they're 227 horsepower rather than the 197 horsepower. You can hear the brakes squealing there. It's absolutely crying out for rear brake pads. I think it's literally on the metal. So yeah, I'll probably get them done in a future video when we're doing up this car. The plan, if this car doesn't sell, as I mentioned previously, is to get all the little touch-up bits of paint done and get the brakes changed and possibly service it. But bit of wheel spin there in second, traction light on. It's quick, there's no doubt in that. Yeah, this is a 60-mile-an-hour road, by the way, guys. I know it's a single road, but it is a 60-mile-an-hour road, so don't worry, I'm not breaking the law. You just can't believe that this car's done over 200,000 miles. It still feels so tight. Like, I'm not going to jutter the steering wheel because I'm driving in a straight line fast, but it's still very tight. Like, the steering feels well connected. When I put my foot on the accelerator, there's so much throttle response, and it just goes up and up and up. Yeah, that's fast. The only thing I will say is sketchy is when you brake at a high speed, you get like a little wobble, and I don't know what that's all about, but it just feels like there's some sort of imbalance. The fronts sort of rattle around a bit. You wouldn't want to be going fast round corners in this car. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking this down a country lane and absolutely hammering it and having to go through the twisty bits. I feel like there's something going on. So whilst the steering feels very well connected, at the same time it feels like there's something going on with either the top mounts or the suspension of some kind. I don't know what. Let's just do them windows up. That brake making so much noise because literally the pad is touching the disc. But one thing I want to touch upon is economy. And now this is not doing too bad economy wise. I put 20 quid of Tesco Momentum 99 in yesterday. I've done 39 miles so far. Now I do have quite a spirited right foot. I do like to put my foot down and listen to like the turbo sounds and the exhaust sounds and stuff like that. So I've done 39 miles since I put £20 in, and my thing on the screen, the odometer or whatever you want to call it, the range is saying that I've got 40 miles left. So going by that, it should be about 80 miles off of £20, which I think is bloody good. I remember when I had my Focus ST, and I compare a lot of hot hatches to my Focus ST. I've had 3 of them, and each one was just terrible on fuel. I think I used to get about 12 or 15 miles per gallon. And like I said, I do have a heavy right foot, but yeah, 12 or 15 miles per gallon I used to get in my Focus ST. Of course, they have a bigger engine, 2.5 litre, 5-cylinder turbo over this 4-cylinder 2-litre engine, obviously turbocharged this one as well. So of course that engine is a lot bigger, but I don't know what it is about them. They're just so juicy. And anyone who has an ST will probably agree with me in the comments. Of course, there will be some Nigels who drive like grannies who say, oh my God, I can't believe you're only getting 12 miles per gallon out of your Focus ST. How do you manage that? I get 32. Yeah, of course you would, because you drive like a granny. But yeah, what am I getting miles per gallon? I am getting 17.1 at the moment, but then I have just took it for a little blast, and maybe it's gone down slightly. So even if you said you're getting 20 miles per gallon in this, I don't think that's terrible. In that Range Rover, I was getting like 8, I think it was. And yeah, I think 40 miles so far off of 20 quid, and I've still got another 40 miles to go. I think economy-wise, this is pretty good. Anyway guys, first video back for a while. I know I've been offline for a while. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I had like 3 weeks off. I wasn't even posting on social media, no YouTube, nothing. I get a little bit down in the dumps sometimes, all right? I'm a man, these things happen. I've had a few like money worries and a few other bits and pieces going on. And do you know what? I'm completely transparent on my channel. I get a bit down sometimes, so, you know, I'm not in the mood to make videos and stuff like that. It is just me, you know, I don't have like people telling me, oh, you like, you know, do this today, film that today, and blah, 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 blah. So sometimes I lose the motivation to make YouTube videos, all right? I don't get paid for it. Well, I do, but like £10 a video, do you know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes I lose the motivation for it, all right? But that's just me being honest. You know, does happen every now and then. Will it happen again? Probably at some point in the future. But yeah, that's just me being honest with you. First video back for a while. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Just let you know, me and Winston are good as gold. He's here on the seat next to me. And yeah, we'll be back again very soon. Either probably, I'd say probably next week, with an update on what's going on with this car. Looking at my phone just now when I stopped, I did notice that someone has offered a swap for their car. That might make an interesting video. And if not, we might do some work to this car and get a video out of that, doing like a service, doing the paint touch-ups, all that sort of stuff. But either way, I will be back with a video very shortly, very soon. And yeah, I hope everyone watching is very well, enjoying this lovely weather we're having in England, although not sweating as much as I am today. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely week or weekend whenever this goes out. And see you in my next video. As always, much love. Mwah.